Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today we're going to be talking about cameras, specifically surveillance cameras. Now, we have cameras all around us. We know that private companies put cameras on buildings, inside and out. We know the government uses cameras for surveillance, whether it's a red light traffic ticket or putting them on corners for crime. We all have cameras with us in our smartphones and basically become the de facto police as we start recording things on the fly, whether it's an incident or something worse. But the question we're going to be asking ourselves today is, will cameras soon become so powerful that they will be impossible to hide from no matter what we do? And here's why. Now, if we're looking at conventional photography right now, taking photos from very long distance is an incredibly difficult thing. To take something from very far away, we have to deal with light sources, potential atmospheric conditions, even pollution if we are going long enough away to actually get something that is viable in terms of a picture that we can recognize, sharp enough and all of that. Now, here's the interesting thing. Scientists have basically been working on ways to take very long distance pictures. Now, they've been relying on sensitive photo detectors to actually improve what cameras do. Now, these detectors are so sensitive that they can pick up single photons from literally up to 10 kilometers away and then stitch them together to make an accurate image. But we just got that turned up to 11. Now, Zhenping Li and colleagues of his from the University of Science and Technology of China in Shanghai now has a photography camera that can take take accurate pictures of subjects up to 45 kilometers away, even in smog-plagued urban environments. Now, their technique uses single photon detectors combined with basically a unique computational imaging algorithm that achieves super high resolution by basically knitting together all of these sparse data points in the photons. Now, this is coming from Technology Review, and it's absolutely fascinating. I think you guys should go read this. But this technique actually is relatively straightforward in principle. They just simply honed it. It's based on laser ranging and detection, or LiDAR, illuminating the subject with a laser light and then capturing that image from the reflected light, and that's getting very accurate. Now, think about this in terms of surveillance. If you wanted to surveil a large area, you would no longer need, let's say, 1,000 cameras to be able to do this. You might only need a few that have the range of literally 28 miles or 45 kilometers to accurately be able to take pictures. Now, when we start combining this with other things like, let's say, ground penetrating radar, or if you have ever walked through an airport in the United States, you have a body scan that is able to basically essentially remove your clothes and show the entire image to see if you're hiding in anything metal, or anything underneath. That becomes a real serious issue. Now, if we have advanced surveillance being ramped up by, let's say, governments, whether it's China or the United States or the European Union, you take your pick, then what ends up happening is if they start applying LiDAR-based technology, they could literally monitor you from miles and miles and miles away. But they could also do things like I said, apply it to other technologies and then start entering essentially your house or other buildings that you might be in, because the camera technology would be able to penetrate the physical objects in front of you. And so the question becomes, as we develop this absolutely amazing technology that is absolutely fascinating, what do we do with it? How do we safeguard ourselves? Can we actually basically be private anymore, even in our own homes, especially if people, let's say consumers, are able to buy this kind of technology that can penetrate walls and all of that, or see long distances, let alone law enforcement or government? What can this do in terms of surveillance? Do they need warrants to use this or any kind of court order? It opens up a whole bunch of cans of worms, I think, in terms of privacy and a whole bunch of other stuff. But the technology is absolutely fascinating. But as we've seen, it's being developed in China, and the Chinese government is very authoritarian. They have a very, very heavy surveillance state, audio, video, otherwise. They use drones, everything else. They have an artificial intelligence I can literally read lips, and was able to detect one criminal out of 60,000 people at a concert about a year ago or so. And now they're going to have basically the ability to photograph, not just for, let's say, their own people, but also for espionage, up to 45 kilometers away from their target. In other words, their target would never see them taking that picture. So what do we do with that? Above and beyond satellite technology, where you kind of have to look up to get your face, We are literally talking about people sitting on the planet being able to do this. So I'd love to know your thoughts on this. I think it's absolutely fascinating, and we'll see where this technology goes. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.